Hey everybody, Chris the Cop, welcome back. Thanks for watching, and definitely thank you for all of your support. Today's video is our wrap-up video to Gamology's Experts React series, where I reacted to Call of Duty Modern Warfare London mission, or as some of you correct it, the Piccadilly mission. And if I pronounce that wrong, I am sorry, I'm an American. Before we get started, let's get a few things out of the way that are kind of self-serving to me. First, memberships are live. You see that join button right below this video, and if that's something that you're interested in, hit that join button, see if there's a tier that you would like to join, and you know the rest from there. Also, when we do our live stream, Super Chats are now live, and that's just another way for you to support this channel. And then also, we do have a really active Discord channel. Links in the banner as well as in the description of this video. And if you just want to interact with me more on a personal level, jump on in the Discord. I jump in and out all day long, 7 days a week. And there's a suggestion channel, there's a blah, blah, blah channel. There's just like all sorts of cool channels where you get to interact with me on a daily basis. If that sounds cool, you know what to do. Now let's jump into this Experts React wrap-up video. All right, for those of you that don't know, I appear on Gamology's channel in their Experts React series, and there's actually some new videos that are coming out that I can't share yet until they drop. But let's just say that Gamology and I have come to an agreement to work together. Now, the only sad part is their videos are getting 1 million views, and I'm like, but I'm the guy in it. Can you maybe come on over and give me 1 million views? All right, enough of that. So in this particular wrap-up video, we're talking about, and I'm going to look down at my notes here because I want to definitely get it right, because I got it wrong in the video and I got the hate right off the bat. So I called the game Modern Warfare Call of Duty. The comments were great. Now, some of you were forgiving. They're like, man, he said it like that was a game. And then, of course, we know it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yeah, you know what? A slip of the tongue. Wow, you know, like some of you guys are really hardcore about your gaming titles. But yeah, that was, so I do apologize right off the bat for calling the game, or giving the game the wrong title or flip-flopping it, okay? And I guess it was labeled the London mission, but it's supposed to be Piccadilly, Piccadilly Square. And so here's an interesting part. One of my closest friends, who is a sergeant at my police department, is from England. Born and raised, came on over to the United States, and now he works as, well, he's a sergeant now. And I showed him the video, I showed him the comments, and we just kind of like laughed together because well, some of you are right. He says, well, it all depends on how old you are and some of the terms you use, kind of like Bobby. He uses Bobby. His parents use Bobby. Apparently, Bobby's not used anymore to describe certain police officers. And I meant no disrespect to any United Kingdom police officers. By far none. My brothers and sisters across the pond have a very difficult job, just like every other police officer in the world, and I would be no disrespect ever. Now, I will back up and defend myself as far as the London Bridge stabbing incident. Though I know of several of the details, and actually I have some very intimate details, I want to tell you why. Now, I did forget that who the actual officers were and if they belonged to a special unit or not. Here's the thing. I got to meet those officers that were able to neutralize certain terrorists. They came on down to California. We had a big SWAT conference. It's an international SWAT conference once a year. And I sat through their debrief of the incident. And then I got to talk to them after. Much love and respect for them. Man, what a tough job. So it was, and to hear the little details that the public never got is awesome, and that's what these training programs for. We get the actual information that we're unable to share with the public. So hats off to those people, or those officers, I should say. Sorry about that. And yeah, so going back to this, I was just talking about some of the things that I used to know to be true, and many of you said, "Well, why didn't you get a British officer?" Or this guy's an American. He's talking about an incident that occurs in England. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a video game, right? Also, I'm 30 minutes from their studio, so it's very easy for me to jump in my car, hit the freeway, be in their studio, and just give my perspective as a police officer. That's all they really want. And here's the other part. Here's the sad part, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually in my notes. Do you know how difficult it is to get a police officer in front of camera and talk about the job and give their perspective on an incident? Because here's the one thing. There's over 750,000 police officers in the United States. And there could be a police officer watching my experts react, or even watching this video and saying, this guy's full of it, or this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, because you know what? He's basing that upon his training, his experience, and police officers, we're very cynical people. Just by nature, we're very cynical. And a lot of police officers don't want to put themselves out there, hence the reason why many of you guys have commented like, there aren't police officers that do what I do on YouTube. Because let's think about it. Some of the personalities that you guys see are retired police officers. They no longer are on the job. I'm still on the job. I'm on year 24, and I plan on keep going until I just decide I've had enough. So it's really difficult to get FBI agents. As a matter of fact, just the other day, I was trying to get Gamology, a couple of FBI agents, to do an Experts React, but none of them wanted to do it. None of them, they first of all felt that they were going to get in trouble from their agency, and then they were like, well, I really don't want my colleagues to see me. I don't want to be ridiculed and criticized on the internet. And we all know what that's like, right? The trolls are out there. So it's really difficult. So Gamology and I have this awesome relationship, and they know I have no problem getting in front of the camera. They help me build my YouTube channel. So that's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, it is difficult to get anybody in the law enforcement community to do what I do. Military, quite a few, because they're retired and they don't have to worry about reporting being on a show, and they're allowed to give their expertise. So that is a difference. Now, would a British officer have been great for this scenario? Absolutely. Come on. That goes without saying. So, all right, so because some of you asked that. All right. Oh, so on this one, when the van first blows up, right? Or right before it blows up, what I was referring to, because some people are like, well, these are SAS and blah, 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 blah. Well, no, I was talking about the fact that the suspects were trying to be detractors by not cooperating. That goes on any level of a law enforcement or any level of an incident where when you have people who are not complying with the lawful orders of a police officer, as a cop, I got to start asking myself, why? Are they trying to distract me? Are they getting ready to run or attack me? Is there something else going on that I haven't been able to figure out yet? That is stuff that goes in the back of your mind right away, and you're like, wait a minute here. So that's what I was talking about. And then we see it plays out perfectly because the van drives away. They distract the agents. The van drives away, and then we have our awesome scenario. That was like phenomenal. I cannot wait to play this game. But I got to get through LA Noire first and SWAT 4 first before we jump into another game. And yes, I know I started playing Five Nights at Freddy, which I shouldn't have played, but that was a special request. All right, so I did talk about the English officers not being armed. If that has changed, my apologies once again. 24 years ago when I started in law enforcement, I actually used to watch training videos from the UK showing how their officers reacted to people with knives, people with baseball bats, essentially weapons that were not guns. And that's where I drew my conclusions from. So my apologies if things have changed, and I guess they really have. And it's unfortunate because that's the world we're living in, where now cops who once didn't have firearms now have firearms. Sad state of affairs for that to be happening. Some of the comments were talking about how I talked about when we respond to calls and we just react. Yes. Sometimes we just will, not sometimes, actually for the most part, we just respond to the call. We get there, we do what we've been trained to do, and when it's all over, you sit back and you're like, what the hell just happened? And I would say that's the majority of what people in public safety would agree with me about. We just do what we got to do. We do what we're trained to do. Boom. All right, a couple comments about rules of engagement. And of course, I love the hate comments. Now, I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. There was a video that I did for Gamology, and it was right after the George Floyd incident. And I could not believe the amount of hate towards myself and my profession in those comments. And I can't remember what video that was. And it is, well, many of you say don't worry about it. It is a little disappointing because you're like, I think to myself, how is it I'm getting lumped up in bad cops when I know what kind of cop I am, as well as you don't know me? And you're upset because you're saying police officers are targeting people based on a color of their skin, yet you're doing the same thing because of a uniform that I wear. So it's kind of an oxymoron, and that's the greatest term to use because it's oxymoron, right? But many of my supporters say, you guys are great, but on this video, I just want to say, and I even put it on my notes, OMG, the support is insane. You guys took care of the bad comments for me. I can't believe just about every bad comment about a cop had a sub comment from a person who says, go back to your Facebook page, Karen, and all these things. And I was just like, wow, that's just awesome that in that short amount of time, it's flip-flopped again. And that is awesome. So thank you from all my brothers and sisters who wear the uniform. I just want to say thank you for all of your support. We're never going to change the mind of that small percentage that just hates cops, but that's okay because we go out and do our job every day because we know that the majority of the people out there want us out there. And that's how I get up every afternoon because I work nights and go and do my job. So thank you. All right, let's get off the high horse and move on. Oh, going back to the rules of engagement. That's where that kind of all went. So rules of engagement. I made some comments, and I actually talked about when someone is handcuffed and or zip tied and taken down to the ground are not a threat. I'm going to go back on that comment because there are ways that they can still be a threat. And that's up for every individual officer to figure out for themselves. I have a lot of years of experience. I have a lot of training. So what may not be a threat for me may be a threat for another officer. And I want to talk about that ROE concept. That's why we have rules of engagement. And remember, in the United States, the way it works is each individual officer is responsible for their own actions. And while one officer may perceive something to be a threat, another officer may not. And that's the genius as well as folly about policing in the United States. So I just want to throw it out there. We definitely do have some defined ROEs. And once again, though, ladies and gentlemen, what my ROEs may be different from another police officer. And then I love this comment. Someone threw it down there, and I don't even know if I made a note on it. Someone said that they showed this video to one of their police friends, and they laughed at it. Okay, that's cool. They're basing their opinion on their training and expertise. They don't have to agree with me. Okay, I'm a California cop. We do things differently than New York cops, Texas cops, blah, 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 state cops. Okay, we just do. And I don't have any, okay, let's move on. Oh, the vest guy. The comments were like, on the vest guy. Yeah, first of all, I didn't see the timer. And when I saw that I went back and saw the video and I was like, oh my gosh, right? Yeah, that's a tough decision. I was thinking to myself, what happens if I was in that decision? What would I do? I have no death wish, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I would have the fortitude to be able to throw him over the ledge. Knowing me, I think I would have laid down on top of him and tried to take part of the blast with him and sacrifice myself. I do. Obviously, I would never know unless I'm in that situation, but here it is. We have thought about it because once the after 9/11 happened, we did scenarios where we used fake grenades. When we're doing our SWAT movement and stuff like that, we'll tell our role players to do different things and surprise us, because that's what we need. We need surprises to see how we're going to react. That's how we get better. And we used a couple of fake grenades, and I remember in one instance, a grenade went out, yelled grenade, and I went to go jump on it. Would I do that in real life? If it was a training scenario, I don't know. But in my frame of mind, I kind of think I would. So, but that's a very dark scene. And love the comments, though. Love the comments. At the end, I talk about how the game makers are getting it right. Other people reply, no, the game makers are just responding to the world we live in. Yeah, it's a little combination of both, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you're new to the channel and you hear snoring, that's Shadow, the Boston Terrier down there, making all that noise. Yeah, you know, here's the sad part. There's no lack of content for game makers these days. With as small and big as this world is, and the state of affairs in all over the world, there is no lack of content, and that's sad because we are starting to see incidents like this to the point that teams, SWAT teams now, we are starting to train and work together because we know if an incident like this happens, we're going to probably lack the resources to handle it ourselves, and we're going to need to call in additional teams. And that's the real world that we live in. Someone said, you blink a lot. Yeah, I suffer from dry eyes. Why? All the damage that's been done to my eyes on flashbang, smoke grenade, blah, 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 blah. So for those of you who know it's not Morse code, I'm not beep, 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 beep. No, it's not Morse code. Suffer from dry eyes. It's a medical condition. I use drops, and when I don't use drops, I start blinking a lot, obviously, because my eyes are like, ugh. Okay, so a couple last things is, one of the last things people were making comments about the whole triage and leaving people behind. It is a true concept. That's the word triage. That's why we have it. We try to help those that have a better survival rate as opposed to ones that will eventually succumb to their injuries. Is it sad? Yes, it is. It is a reality. Yes, it is. Triaging has been going on since we've been at war with one another, right? So, okay, one last thing. Gamology. I love them, and here's the reason why I love them. We are talking about video games, and what better thing is there? They get all of us to stop for a few minutes, watch a cool video, doesn't matter what expert it is, and we get to have judgments about the expert, judgments about the gameplay, but guess what? At the end of the day, we're just talking about video games, and how cool is that? Many people have asked me, hey Chris, are you going to comment about like politics and real world stuff? No. This channel is all about breaking you away from that and bringing you someplace where it's fun and we don't have to think about all that junk that's out there in the real life. That's what this channel is all about. So we're going to try to keep it apolitical as well as keeping it away from those controversial subjects, just because I want you to have a place to come and relax, especially with COVID-19 and the fact that everyone's still on lockdown. That's what that's about. I love the fact that Gamology is doing that as well, and that's why I support them so much. And it's been a great relationship and a great ride working with them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our Experts React wrap-up video. We are going to be wrapping up, I believe, Payday 2 next, or whatever other video came out before that. I think 3 videos have dropped since, or 2 other videos have dropped since our Modern Warfare Call of Duty. Just kidding. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Anyways. Alright, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris the Cop. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. We will get through COVID-19 together. Until next time. Peace.